How do you go to a business conference and be alcohol-free when everyone else around you has got an open bar and they're drinking and having fun? How do you have fun and be alcohol-free and still do business? You're going to find out today from one of our Project 90 graduates. His name is Karl Bednarz. He's 62, lives in San Angelo, which is dead center in the middle of Texas. He is a civil engineer, and by his own admission, Karl's marriage to his wife Angie of 11 years was strained because his drinking habits got a little bit out of control. He was drinking a lot of beer and he was saying the wrong things and he wasn't being present, and his wife with Angie really started to suffer as a result of that. He's managed to turn it all around, and now he's thinking clearly, he's patient, and he tells me that his marriage to Angie is now fantastic and wonderful, in his own words. He's going to share a little bit more about the story in this upcoming conversation. Karl is also training for a triathlon at 62 years of age. He started running for the first time in 44 years when he joined us in our Project 90 program. Pretty incredible. Imagine taking up a triathlon at age 62. Really inspiring stuff, Karl. These are the type of things that people do. These are the type of new hobbies or new interests or new actions that people take when they finally get this attractively packaged poison out of their life. Karl was, like you, a podcast listener. Karl saw an ad, he says, on Facebook from me, advertising my services, and the time was just right. He clicked on a button, checked out the website, he booked an exploratory call with one of our coaches, got on a call, enrolled in Project 90. We coached him through 90 days, alcohol-free. He's now reprogrammed his brain, again, to borrow his verbiage. More specifically, he said, my brain has been reprogrammed around alcohol, and he has no intention of drinking beer again. Imagine if you could reprogram your brain and have alcohol be somewhat meaningless and go through the rest of your days loving life, being more present, being able to play with your kids or grandkids, having energy, taking up new sports, new hobbies, performing at work. Because drinking alcohol is a choice. You don't have to do it. And when you drink it, you're choosing, in my view, for the most part, most people are choosing mediocre performance in health, wealth, love, and happiness. Get rid of that attractively packaged poison, and now we get to be the way that nature always intended us to be. Vibrant, energetic, happy, joyful. Doesn't mean that we're not going to experience stress and anxiety at times, but they become less frequent, and our ability to handle those circumstances become far greater. We have tools. And Karl's going to talk about some of those tools that he used here when he went to the conference and playing with his grandkids. Enough from me. If you would like to have an exploratory conversation about how the Project 90 experience can help you, like it's helped Karl and like it's helped many of our other Project 90 graduates who you've heard on this podcast, then you can go to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/schedule and you can chat with our top coach, Victoria English, who coaches all of our high performers inside of that program. It is for folks who are over the age of 35. Most of them are six-figure and seven-figure earners, either own a business or have a profession, full-time job. People who are striving to be high performers in their field or in their marriage or in their relationships, but alcohol has just got in the way. Also, if you want a free guide, the Alcohol Freedom Formula Guide, you can go to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/guide, and I will send that out to you. It's completely free. It's I think it's up to about 70 pages now, which outlines my process for how you can get long-term power over your drinking habits. All right, let's get into it. Here is Karl Bednarz, 62, from San Angelo, Texas. Let's listen in to how he has reprogrammed his brain around alcohol. Tomorrow you're going to be 90 days alcohol free, and you're running 3 kilometers. I think that's the goal tomorrow, which will be the longest that you've run in 44 years, Karl. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I haven't really exercised since high school, consistently, being on basketball teams, whatever like that, but college, maybe a little intramural stuff, but never running, for a distance. And I've just, since I've joined the P90, I've wanted to get, fit. And my ultimate goal on my bucket list has been to be in a triathlon. I've always had that in the back of my mind, and I never could figure out how can I do this, because it seemed elusive, but I'm on the way now.
Yeah, you're 62 years old now, and you said 44 years you haven't run 3K. So that's about 18. So the last time you ran 3 kilometers was when you were a teenager.
Yeah, teenager. Yeah. Yeah, it's a long time ago. Hard to remember that. So somebody was pushing me then to do it. Now I'm doing it by myself.
What was the first distance that you ran when you took this up again during this 90-day experience?
Oh gosh, I mean, I started from zero. So I mean, I started walking first. I was real concerned at my age. I'm not old, in my opinion, but I mean, I do not want to get injured, in any of my exercises, because I figured that would put me back so much that might even derail my whole plan. So I started walking first and got up to where I was walking a good 2.5 miles, and then I started some kind of what do you call it, phased running, where I would walk a ways, run a ways, until I reduced my walking till I was running. So it's taken me this whole almost 90 days. I started walking pretty much at the beginning of it, so it's taking me 90 days.
Yeah, I'm just imagining the movie Forrest Gump at the moment. You're sitting on the porch, Karl, and then one day you just, for no particular reason at all, you stand up and you start running. Next thing you know, you'll have like a big beard that's going down to your belly button and hair down to your middle of your back, and you'll be running across the coastline.
I hope so. Yeah, maybe. I know there's some guys on our calls that have been they're very accomplished runners that giving me some inspiration too, so that's been good.
Well, shoot me a text message tomorrow when you complete your 3 kilometers, and maybe take a photo of you at the end and share it in our Project 90 Marco Polo group as well. I'm sure everyone would be thrilled to see you achieve that milestone.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
And the goal is obviously to complete a triathlon, and you've given yourself until when to do that?
Well, for sure, by the time I'm 65, but I'm going on the next 2 years. I'd have to find the events and those type of thing. But yeah, my goal is to get a 5K in by Thanksgiving, and that'll be the kind of the entry level for the running part of a triathlon. And then I'll start the swimming this winter, which would be kind of around the 1st of November. I'll probably start. I've been doing some research on that and coaching them, getting on the just through YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah, terrific.
And the bicycling next spring.
So tell me a little bit about your drinking habits leading up to you doing this 90-day break and beyond. What was going on in your life? I know you've got your wife, Angie, you've been married to for 11 years. You live in San Angelo in Texas, which is about 200 miles west of Austin. You're a civil engineer. What was going on in your life with your drinking habits that inspired you to join us?
Well, I've probably been drinking, since high school, and I've never quit for a very long a period of time, and never really wanted to. Although there were times, especially, the last 10 years or so, I could tell, just I shouldn't be drinking this much. And I'm a beer drinker. I was a beer drinker. I'm not anymore. But, I would drink after 5 when I got off work. It was the first thing I reached for, came home and have a man cave here at the house. And I did, at one time had a kegerator there. I've since sold the kegerator, but have a beer and just drink, not to be drunk, but just drink till it's time to go to bed. It may take 4 or 5 of those some nights, and then weekends, probably by lunch I was be outside working or watching sports events or whatever on TV, and probably by lunch I was drinking and do the same thing, just kind of sipping on a beer all day long till bedtime. And as far as how it affected me, at the time I really didn't think it was affecting me. I just kind of used it to me to get energy and keep going and unwind, I guess, too. And just as things went on, I could see through our relationship, especially with my wife, that there's things that weren't right, and things that probably I was saying that I wake up the next day going, what did I say to get her in this mood? And that really, one day somehow I got to you came over across, I think it was a Facebook post, if I remember right. In the middle of the night, was used to wake up frequently during the night and pick up my phone, just check stuff, especially Facebook. And I think something came across about you and said, you want to learn more? And I clicked it and entered my email, I think it was. And I got an email the next day. And then one thing led to another. I ended up talking to Coach Jim, signed up, and here I am 90 days later.
Yeah. And what was the catalyst? Was it the relationship or the strained relationship that you were having with Angie? Yeah. Me and my wife had a strange relationship, and it was all on me. I could tell wasn't anything she was doing. When I was drinking, I thought it was, but I knew something had to change, and it had to be me. And I could tell that this alcohol had control, and it was just ruining my life. At the time, I didn't think that could be possible, but I came to realization that this has something's got to change. And I think I mentioned you earlier on the call, but it seemed like divine intervention to me that this came across my email and my Facebook and signed up, and just the results were marvelous. What were some of the things you were saying, or the things you were doing or not doing that Angie shared with you was leaving her so upset and unfulfilled? Yeah,
so a lot of it just you come home from work, and she stays at home. She's retired, and I just kind of went to my own world. I just there wasn't much talking, or if there was, it wasn't very nice, I guess you could say, or wasn't building up her. And that's probably just was not being a good relationship with someone, just someone that you should love in your wife. And I knew something had to change, and that's kind of where I ended up here.
Mm. And then since you have changed, because you've gone through our 90-day process here and you've been alcohol-free 90 days from tomorrow, from certainly when we're recording this, how has your relationship with Angie been?
It's been awesome. She's been very supportive of this, and since day one, and we'll talk about it. I've got a book here that I have written, my daily 20. That was one thing that I started. I write down through y'all's coaching on my daily 20. It's what I'm thankful for the day, and then I've got notes from the calls that I've had with y'all, and I keep track of what day I'm alcohol free, and a few days go by, and I'll say I can't believe I'm 45 days and 55 and so on. She just look at me and give me a high five and smile real big. And it's been wonderful. There's a lot of things that I'd share with her, and that I'd learned during the night. Sometimes we talk about different things. Some of them just on self improvement, whether you were drinking alcohol or not. I mean, it helped. Some of the ideas have helped her with her just living her life too. So we had some good conversations over that.
Oh, great! So you've been taking some of the things that you've learned inside of our group calls and Project 90 and sharing them with Angie, and then Angie's been then putting them into practice herself. Is that right? That's terrific. If so, yeah.
Yeah. And she's not a drinker, so it didn't really have anything. She may drink a margarita a year. It's kind of, or she'd have a glass of wine. It's just, I wouldn't even classify her as a drink, somebody that drinks alcohol, but just a general improvement, for how she looks at life and things that she can improve on. So it's been good for her too.
Yeah, terrific. And so what is your intention now, Karl, in relation to, I guess, drinking, first of all, and then secondly, your intention around your relationship with Angie?
Oh, yeah. My drinking is, that's in the past. I'm not going to drink again. When I first started this, the goal was to get to 90, and then maybe I'll drink, maybe I won't. But that was probably about the first 25 to 30 days. Maybe I had that in my brain. And the farther I went, the more it came clear to me that, I feel too good not drinking. I've got lots of energy. I sleep really good. I mean, it kind of didn't come overnight, I guess you'd say, on sleeping good. It took a while for that to develop, but now I used to wake up just a really light sleeper. And the other night we had a really bad thunderstorm here, and I would have never slept through a thunderstorm. Usually when the first 2 or 3 drops hit the roof, I can hear it, and I'm awake and wait till the storm's over usually. And I slept through the whole thing. And my wife said, "You didn't hear that? It was lightning and thunder and rain." I had a good night's sleep. Had some good dreams that night.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. But I'm not going to be drinking. I just that's in the past now. I've started from day one. Like I used to go in, grab my beer at 5 o'clock, and I took your advice. I think it was one of the first calls I had was getting replacing that habit with a glass of sparkling water and lemon and lime. So I went through that for a few weeks, and I found some other things, some Topo Chico, this little Croy water I'm looking at right here that's got some different flavors, but it's sparkling water with some flavor in it. That's my drink of choice now. I'm doing that, so I won't be drinking.
Terrific. And this, you're a civil engineer. Tell me a little bit about your profession and what the goals are with that.
Yep. I'm actually retired once from state government, worked for a transportation agency there, and I had 33 years, I think, when I retired. Spent a little bit of time with the city government, and then I went to the private sector. Now I'm doing consultant work for cities and counties, that type of thing. Transportation, doing we do construction management of large projects like highway, bridge, transportation type projects. And I'm a leader for this part of Texas for my firm that I work for. But it's been amazing to see how clear I think now that, when I was drinking, I never drank during the day. It's always at night. It really didn't feel like I got drunk. But I can, there was a fog that was overshadowing my thought process. And now I feel like, that's lifted. I see things that are 2 or 3 steps ahead, whereas before I was probably just looking at stuff that was right in front of me, and it's been a blessing for my work into this. So it's been good.
That's interesting. So you're seeing things longer term rather than short term. Am I hearing you correctly?
Yeah. Longer term. And then just, even in a conversation with someone, I'm more listening and I'm hearing more, I guess. And then it helps me formulate my thoughts, farther than just what I'm going to say next. I'm already, I'm ahead of what's happening, it seems like. So it's been a blessing to me.
Mm. What other things have you noticed about the benefits of being alcohol free? Maybe around clarity or patience or just anything.
Yeah, very, very patient. I used to, I had no patience, I can tell you, when I was working on something, and it seemed like if it got, this is at home usually, but just anything that was broken, you have to fix, which as an engineer, I'm going to try to fix anything. I'm not going to pay somebody to fix it usually because I figure I'm smart enough. I can do this, and usually I could, but things that just get frustrating, and I just didn't have any patience, I end up walking away from it and maybe coming back the next day or something, but I usually get it done. But it's just now nothing seems to upset me. It's surprisingly, because I had a lot shorter fuse than I do now. It just seems like it's just this stuff doesn't bother me anymore. I usually I'm looking for a solution, and I'm able to find a solution, with my clearer thinking, I think, what's going on. But, also, my drinking during my conferences, I'm going to tell you this, that that's one thing that really was concerned when I first started this, that even if I quit, I've still got family and friends that drink, and I go to conferences, periodically with my work, and those usually have quite a bit of alcohol there that's available, and a lot of times it's free. It's part of the conference, and I always felt kind of was obligated, it's free, and my friends were drinking too, so it just always developed into just drinking, having fun, talking, that kind of thing. But I had those coming up at the fall time of the year is when those usually come up, and started off in August with a trip to the beach with family, and a lot of them drink, and I thought, I'd been down there before with them and a drink, and I didn't advertise, and I still don't really advertise that I'm not drinking. If somebody asks, I'll tell them. But my wife knew. She had told a couple of them that, she asked me about it, and I said, well, don't tell them, don't worry about drinking. If they want to drink, nobody needs to be keeping their beer hidden for this whole weekend or whatever. I mean, just act as normal, and I'll work around it. That's what I need to do. And I took my drinks with me. That was one of the things that I got coached on. It was really good. And I had my sparkling water in my cooler and drank that. And I really focused on, I've got granddaughters, grandkids, and I'm focused on them probably more than I ever have, because I usually just sit back and drink and watch them play. And now I was more active and, in the water with them in the ocean, and just playing games and stuff like that I would have never done before. And got through it. I mean, there's a couple of times when it was, really was hot and cold beer would be nice, when I was in my brain. And I think Coach Victoria I think it was her, maybe it was Sarah, but anyway, they had recommended, if it gets really tight, just go for a walk. So that's what I did. I just said, I'm going to walk down the beach, which I think it was Labor Day weekend, and it was crowded. And so I just took off walking. And I noticed a lot of people drinking, it's obviously Labor Day weekend on the beach, but you see some, that aren't drinking, they're sitting there talking and playing games too. I didn't see any beer cans or anything around them or wine. So that kind of helped me refocus, come back after my walk, and went on with that. But these conferences, the same way. It was I knew there'd be beer there, and I knew there'd be my friends there that I've always drank with at these same conferences for some of them for 30 years. In the same conference, and have the alcohol after hours, and mini bar set up like in a large hotel ballroom. There's probably 5 or 6 mini bars sitting around, free alcohol. But I'd went in prepared. I took a glass for my room, and I already had my sparkling water in the room because I was drinking. During the day, if I wanted to drink, I could go back and get me that. But took that with me, and I just go up to the bartender and ask for some sparkling water and get that, and they didn't care. I mean, they filled up the glass, gave him a glass, pushed it across the bar. And the last conference I went to just a couple of weeks ago, that was probably the one I was most concerned about, because it was kind of a smaller hotel, and a lot of my friends were there that, like I said, I drank with for probably 20 to 30 years at this conference. And usually we're at this bar is downstairs at this hotel. And I knew I would see them there, and I really wanted to see them because of COVID last year. I really didn't see a lot of them. I had seen them a couple of years. We talked on the phone, but we didn't see in person. But I had the same thing. I went up to the bar first, and I just wanted some Sprite that night. I kind of wanted something sweet, so I got a Sprite and just walked up, started talking to them, like we always had. And after about 30 minutes, you're sitting there sipping on a drink, and they're out of the drink, and they say, "Hey, let me buy you a drink." So sure. So I walk up to the bar, and he got I think he got an old fashioned. One of my friends I was talking to. So what can I get you? And I said well, Sprite. And he goes, Sprite? So, yeah, I said, well, Sprite. I'm not drinking tonight. And he kind of shrugged his shoulders. And partner gave me a Sprite, and that was it. I mean, so and we're close enough friends. We'll have some conversation sometime about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and that type of thing. But it didn't come up the rest of that night. I went to the bar and bought him. That's the first time I ever bought somebody else a drink when I didn't buy a drink. But I went back to the bar and had a Sprite and bought him his drink. So we kind of had several rounds of that. But I stayed up late that night, midnight talking, in which I usually don't go to. I go to bed a lot earlier than that. But before I knew it, it was midnight. We were just kept talking and visiting. There was 20 people there probably drinking. But I just kept drinking my Sprite. And the next morning, I got up and it was pretty quiet. But got up to do some exercise too. It was hurting, but I noticed it was a lot quieter around the hotel. That not many people up moving, but it helps. What I found, and this has helped through y'all's coaching, that to not run away from those situations where I know there's going to be alcohol, because in my business, I don't know, most people's business, there's just drinking is going to happen, and I can't, unless I want to quit my business and just live in a hole somewhere. It's going to be there. And just every time I dealt with it, head on, it gave me more confidence the next time. That's the way I feel now. I don't, a cold beer on a hot day, it kind of sounds good, but the way I feel now, that's not what I need. That's not what I'm going to be doing.
Mm. Yeah. I remember being in Sydney, Australia some years ago. It was December, and December in Australia is very hot, around Christmas holidays time and stuff. And I was in a pub at the end of North Bondi Beach. It's called the North Bondi RSL, Retired Servicemen's League, and they freeze the pint glasses. And so when you go up and order a beer, they'll pull a beer out of the freezer. A glass out of the freezer, and then they'll pour the beer from the tap and give it to you, and that way the beer's like icy cold and seemingly delicious. And I hadn't drunk in some years when I was here, and my friends were ordering these kind of drinks, and I was sat down. It was this beautiful view over Bondi Beach, and my friends were drinking beer, and for about 3 seconds I looked at those beers and I thought to myself, geez, I'd love to smash a beer right now. Geez, that'd be good. Yeah. I kind of for 3 seconds, I kind of had memory of when I enjoyed the taste of beer. But it only lasted 3 seconds, because I just kind of looked at it, thought about it. I was like, I'm good. And then I just picked up my sparkling water. It's my drink of choice is soda water, ice, and a piece of lime. And I drank from that. And I looked over the beach at Bondi Beach with the sun setting, and I was perfectly content. So it doesn't mean that you're not going to have a craving for alcohol. It doesn't mean that it's not going to come up for you at some point again where you're like, I'd really like to have a drink. But it seems like now you have the tools on how to navigate that in the moment. And any craving that comes sounds like it will be a fleeting craving rather than an ongoing, pain point for you. Is that fair?
Oh, that's exactly right. Yeah. I was looking back through my notes before we had this call, just all the different, that's one thing that's helped me, the calls that y'all had, coaching calls. I couldn't come, I think, the ones that I were over was 2 on Monday, 2 on Wednesday, and then Saturday morning. I couldn't do the mornings just because of my job, but the evening ones were nice. I attended, I think I missed 3 over 90 days, and just got a wealth of information, every time. And just in talking to the people that were, when I started, they were 30 days, 50, closer to 90 like I am. And I just look at that and go, I don't know how they can do that. Pick up information from them, as well as the coaches. Yeah, that's what I'm. Go back to your question. Yeah, the fleeting moment now. It's just it is fleeting. It's like my brain's been reprogrammed to. I don't want to go there. There's too many benefits for not even considering it. It's just amazing.
Yeah, your brain's been reprogrammed. I love that. Yeah, it's funny as well. I went to a party in Bali, Indonesia last week. And as I'm recording this, I'm in Bali at the moment, returning to the US in the next month or so. But I went to a party. It was in a hotel bar. It was a hotel conference area, and there was a hotel bar there. And there was a lot of people there. There's probably a couple hundred people. And some people were drinking alcohol and some people weren't. But I offered a friend of mine a drink. By that I mean, I just said, hey, do you want a drink? I'm going to the bar to get a soda water. What do you want? And he said, I'll have a soda water too. So I went up to the bar, and I was shocked at how long I had to wait just to wrestle to get to the bar to order the damn drink, because there were so many people trying to order drinks. And it made me realize I hadn't done that in at least a couple years, and I'd done it very rarely over the past 10 years. I mean, when you don't drink alcohol, going to the bar to order a drink is a lot easier. Oh, I'm sorry. What I mean by that is you don't go to the bar as often to order drinks. And because you're not really in rounds with people, you're not having to order 3 drinks and try to carry them back to the table that you're at. Oftentimes, bars will put like a big bottle of water at the end of the bar where you can fill up the water yourself, so you don't actually have to wait in line to place your order. But it was just so obvious to me how inconvenient it felt actually trying to wrestle for a barman's attention just to even place the drink. And I was like, God, I'm so happy I don't drink alcohol. Not to mention the price. I was actually at a pub trivia night just last night. A couple of friends invited me out to a weekly trivia night that they had at a place called Claybones, which is a pub/bar here, and really fun trivia night. And some of them were ordering beers and alcohol, and I of course I ordered a coconut. Actually, I had a big coconut, and my coconut, which is filled with electrolytes, by the way, really really good for you, coconut water, cost me the equivalent of about $1.75 USD. And then I had some dinner. I had, what did I have? A chicken curry, I think. I had chicken curry and a coconut. And my bill at the end of the night was, I think it was the equivalent of about $8 American dollars. And my friends who had a couple of beers, and then one of them had a wine, but my friend who had a couple of beers and his food, his bill was, I think, $20-something. So it was double. It was more than double just by virtue of the fact that he had a couple of beers. And that's just, I mean, that's in a pretty cheap country like Indonesia. If you're in the United States or Australia or Canada or UK or wherever you are, like the price of alcohol is pretty damn expensive, and that can make any kind of bill really blow out. Not to mention the inconvenience of if you're going up to the bar, like at a conference, to get other people drinks, you're fighting for the barman's attention and all the time. And so anyway, it was very apparent to me, good reminders the last week or so, that A, I'm thrilled I don't have to go to a bar and order drinks, and 2, man, I'm just saving so much money by not drinking.
Yeah, I understand. It's the same thing, go to a restaurant to eat a meal now, and you drink water and you get the bill, and it's noticeably less for the same food I used to drink or eat, just a few months ago. It's really, really, really good.
Are you confident? Are you confident now about going to business conferences or other places or other events where there is lots of alcohol, and you remaining alcohol free? I mean, do you actually feel that confidence inside of you now?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think I've got it under control, and I just it's just part of who I am now. One thing I kind of mentioned at the beginning of my program to one of the coaches, I remember, but talked about why you might be here. One of the reasons was I kind of forgot what happiness was. It just seemed like I just went through the motions, every day, just go to work, come home, drink, go to bed, repeat, and what even happiness was. I just got to questioning, what I've got pretty much everything I want. I'm not a multi-millionaire by any means, but I mean, I'm comfortable, and I'm retired. I really don't have to work, but I choose to work. But just now, just over the last, it's been kind of developing, but probably over the last 10 days, maybe 20 at the most, I really kind of went back to that question. I used to think that, and now it's not like some, euphoric moment or something like maybe Forrest Gump might have experienced or something. Go back to that, but just little things. As I see my grandkids, or I play with my grandkids, or probably got a dog here I play with sometimes. That I was noticing tonight that it didn't hang around me a lot when I was drinking. I guess it knew something was up. Maybe I wasn't as kind as I am now, but it's just happiness is just being alive and just experiencing life, and not expecting things to be my way all the time, and just got a lot of things to do between now and the time of my days are over. But I plan to make the most of them.
So wonderful to hear you speak that way, Karl.
I appreciate y'all's program for that. You and your coaches and yourself. It's been amazing. The transformation that's happened in my life. I sure appreciate it.
You're welcome, Karl. And thank you so much for supporting others and for being such an integral part of our community, and for sharing, and for allowing yourself to being coached, and for coaching others by sharing. And it sounded like in the first couple of weeks you felt a little timid, and you were looking at some people who were graduating thinking, wow, how the heck am I going to do this? But you stayed the course and you did it, right? I mean, tomorrow's day 90. You're day 89 as we're recording this.
Yep.
I don't think that you're going to finish recording this podcast and go and have a beer now and not reach 90, right?
No, not even on the radar. I'll never buy that stuff again. At least for myself. It will be for me.
And then tomorrow you've got a photo selfie to take to share with me and also the other Project 90 members, don't you?
I'll be doing that. It may be kind of dark because I get up before the sun comes, but I'll figure out a way to get some light on it.
Yeah, so 3 kilometers tomorrow, which will be the furthest you would have run in 44 years.
Yep.
So good.
Got plans for more. Yep. I'm just starting.
Karl, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us today, mate. Congratulations again, and long may it continue.
Yep. And thank you to your program and all your coaches and all the teammates that have also been along the way that gave me coaching. It's been tremendous. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I want to load you up with some free stuff. If you look in the show description, there's a link there to get my guide, which is the Alcohol Freedom Formula Guide. And in that guide, I will walk you through the process and system for successfully reducing or quitting alcohol. It's the same system and process that I give to my clients inside of Project 90. And if you would like to get your hands on that guide, you can click the link in the description part of this episode, or you can go to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/guide. Likewise, if you would like to be considered for Project 90 to join our community and get some accountability, some coaching, and have fun, achieve some goals over at least 90 days with our help and support, then you're invited to schedule a complimentary coaching call with one of my coaches. You can do that by clicking the link in the show description or going to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/schedule. Now, Project 90 is for over 30s only. And it's really for people who are ready to get long-term power over alcohol. You don't have to quit forever, but you will have to quit for at least 90 days with our support. Just a reminder, 95% of my content is free and plastered all over the internet. If you just Google James Swanwick and the word alcohol, you'll find that. For those of you who want additional support, if you want coaching, fun, accountability, if you realize that you can't do this on your own or you just plain don't want to, then I invite you to schedule that call and we can talk about if Project 90 is for you. If you would like to take some of my supplements, swanvitality.com is the website. I'll put a link in the show notes as well. I have a liver support product called Loving Liver, which I designed and specially formulated to help remove toxins from your liver after years of alcohol consumption. Again, there's a link in the show description. We've also got a green powder there, which turns into a green juice filled with amazing ingredients to support you and give you energy throughout the day. And there's also a magnesium product which I take every night to help me prepare for sleep and to sleep through the night. So there's a few options there. Lastly, if this episode or the show in general has helped you or supported you in any way, I would so appreciate it if you would write a review. It really does help the show climb the rankings and expose the show to people who don't yet know about us. So if this show has benefited you in any way and you feel compelled to pay it forward, just writing a short little review, hopefully a nice one, will be so appreciated, and I will thank you immensely. Lastly, if you'd like to talk to me about anything at all, feel free to send me an email at james@alcoholfreelifestyle.com. I do read and respond to every email, and you can also follow me on Instagram at @JamesSwanwick. Send me a message there, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Catch you on the next one.